Hello everyone, back to today's second video. So we've already done the 5-day forecast. You can find the video chat here on the home page. Just scroll down the page a little bit, it's above the pollen count. And there's also a written version you get at from the buttons at the top of the page. It's going to be a changeable 5 days ahead. It's going to turn a lot cooler and fresher. I'm going to have a bit of rain as well, especially as we get towards the end of the week and the weekend. Check out the 5-day forecast for more about that. The second video, we'll have a look at the weather next week to 10 days, and then we'll have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre for the next 40 days. So we're actually going to be extending out more or less to the end of summer, end of August, with this update. Going to start off with a few pictures that I've seen of last night's thunderstorms. There was big thunderstorms around across parts of the south. So this picture was posted by Mark Coleman at Gaz Weather's comment box, and I think Mark is in London somewhere, and bright flash of lightning that he managed to capture there, and that's another one from Mark. Again, that was shared at the comment box at Gaz Weatherviz. I've seen these pictures on Twitter. These have been sent to me on my Twitter handle, which is Gavin Partridge at Twitter. This is Chelsea in Greater London last night. Very dramatic looking picture of sheet lightning. This is a very dramatic looking picture that was tweeted to me from Berkhamsted last night. A dramatic looking picture of fork lightning there. Really dramatic lightning bolt, that one. And I think this is in Portsmouth. Again, this was tweeted to me. Mike Healy captured this in Portsmouth. Again, a very dramatic looking picture of fork lightning. Looks like it's going down into the sea there. I'm sure there's a lot more, many more pictures that I could share that have been sent to me at Twitter, but I haven't got time to include more in today's video. Perhaps do a few more tomorrow. Remember, if you would like to have your pictures featured in videos, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can either tweet them to me at Gavin Partridge, that's my Twitter handle, but you can also post them at the comment box at Gaz Weatherviz if you're a member of the Discuss comment box platform. You can post them there, and also, of course, you can email them to gazweatherviz@gmail.com, and we're always happy to feature the pictures in the videos. So there was some very lively and dramatic weather around last night, to say the least. The latest situation, there's not much going on with thunder at the moment. These are the latest observations from XC Weather. And we can see that it's pretty warm over in the east, actually. Temperatures around Norwich are around 26, 27 degrees, so around the 80 Fahrenheit mark. Weybourne also at 27 degrees there on the Norfolk coast. And if we go up to Wittering, we're at 20 degrees. There's quite a lot of cloud around today. That's limiting the temperature potential. Potentially, temperatures could have got up over 30 degrees today, but because we kept a lot of cloud, it is limiting the temperature potential quite a bit. Birmingham Airport, for example, at 21 degrees Celsius. If it was sunny, I dare say we could be into the upper 20s Celsius. Now, some of these clouds are thinning a little bit. We haven't got many more hours worth of warming to go before things will naturally start to cool down anyway. So possibly be around 27 degrees. That would be our highest temperature. Because of all the cloud, we're not really triggering many more thunderstorms, although there are some dramatic developments taking place across the Irish Sea and down into northern parts of Wales. Have a look at lightning detectors. It's weatheroutlook.com, by the way. So you have got a cluster of thunderstorms across much of North Wales. But that's really the only place that's getting lightning and thunder at the moment. Otherwise, a great deal going on. If the sun comes out in the next hour or two and shoots the temperature up, then it's possible we could generate some more thunderstorms across parts of northern England, maybe down into the north and West Midlands into Wales, possibly southwestern parts of England too. But because there's so much cloud, that has had an effect of limiting the temperatures and not allowing the storms to blow up. Cooler weather is on the way. We deal with this in the 5-day forecast, coming back to XC Weather. you can see the change in wind direction is beginning to come into west of Ireland now. So most parts of the UK have got the winds coming up from the south still. Very warm, very humid air, but across the far west of Ireland, you can see that the wind is turning westerly there, and that's the change to cooler, fresher Atlantic weather that will be pushing across the country through this evening and overnight. By this time tomorrow, we will all be feeling very significantly cooler and fresher. So if you don't like the humid feel, it's on its way out in the next few hours. These are the temperature, GFS temperature anticipation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line here is a 30-year temperature average. There's the very warm, humid weather that we've got at the moment. It's downhill all the way with the upper air temperatures. Now, by the end of the week, we're going to be actually going cooler than average, and then we keep it a little bit cooler than average through the weekend into the start of next week. Our next push-up in temperatures looks like it could be occurring through the middle part of next week, although not going back to the sort of level of heat that we've got at the moment. And actually, it just looks like we're sticking very close to the 30-year temperature average, really, as we run up to the end of July into the start of August. That's this period just here. There are a few hot outlier members appearing into the start of August. At the moment, they aren't all that well supported, but this is one of those summers where the plumes keep coming and going. They're broken up by coolish and unsettled weather, so at any point really we could get a quick push up in the temperature, lift the temperature up again, trigger a thundery breakdown, and then cool it down once more. That's the pattern of the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if that was to continue into August. So I suspect we haven't finished with hot weather by any means this summer. In terms of precipitation, quite a bit of rainfall coming up actually over the next week. So got some wet weather coming in at the end of week Friday and then into the weekend, and the start of next week it looks like we're keeping it fairly showery as well. Possibly turning a little bit drier after that. The temperature anomaly is looking like this for the next week, taking us from the 19th through to 27th of July. It's around average, really, not big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies for the next week, the 19th, 27th of July, they are coming out actually a bit on the wetter than average side, if anything, particularly so for the north and the west of the country. Over in America, many parts of the states are turning warm now. The warmest area is in the central part of America, but even over the east, things have warmed up a little bit compared to what they were like earlier in the summer. Precipitation anomalies show many parts of the states are dry, although down in the southwest, it does look pretty wet. This is how the GFS is seeing things for Sunday then, and low pressure is close to the country, so expect further showers, if not longer spells of rain on Sunday. Into Monday, that low pressure will be clearing away, allowing this ridge to build from the north and west, turning things drier, and through to the start of next week, we probably get a drier interlude actually under this little bit of a ridge that's toppling in across the country. It might not last all that long though. By the middle part of next week, that's being flattened off again as low pressure comes back in from the Atlantic, brings more changeable weather, particularly to the north and to the west as well. That's how we finish up on day 10, looking rather unsettled and changeable with the wind coming in off the Atlantic, and no doubt more showers, particularly so for the north and west of the country. ECMWF looks like this. Low pressures over top of the country over the weekend, so it does look very showery at the very least, and probably with some longer spells of rain as well. This is all covered in the 5-day forecast. Early next week, that low pressure clears off into the North Sea. We start to build a bit of a ridge out to the west, but you notice the winds are coming down from the north around this ridge, so it's not going to be all that warm. In fact, it could be quite cool at the start of next week, but it will be turning drier, especially so in the west. And then in the extended part of the ECMWF update, it does turn really very unsettled as low pressure starts to move in from the Atlantic. Now, this is more unsettled than what the GFS is showing. This is proper wet weather coming in off the Atlantic. And actually, if you've got any holidays, any plans for the second half next week, this does look rather grim, I'm afraid. Day 10, which is Saturday 29th of July, looks really unsettled. Low pressure is driving in from off the Atlantic, and not only is that wet with a lot of heavy rain coming in, it's also very cool as well. If you follow the isobars back, the air is originated from a really long way north up here somewhere. So the ECMWF is a little bit grim really as we're heading up to the latter stages of July, with a very unsettled and cool spell of weather being signalled. The GFS isn't as bad as that, but they are both hinting at quite a coolish and unsettled end to July, I have to admit. So it'll just be a case of seeing how bad things get, I think, as we run up to the final stages of the month. Finally, just have a look at Beijing Climate Centre for the next 40 days. These are 500 millibar heights broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period taking us from the 21st through to the 30th of July. And Beijing Climate Centre has seen quite a lot of settled weather through this 10-day period. Low pressure is out to the north and west, but actually we've got this ridge through the country. Remember, this is a 10-day anomaly, so it could be transitional. The first 5 days, for example, might be largely high pressure dominated, and then the second 10 days might be more unsettled. But based on what we've just seen, I think that's a little bit off, really. So I think it would be more unsettled already than that is indicating for the coming 10 days. It might, and the CFS has been along the lines of this as well, indicating a lot of dry and warm and hot weather for the second half of the latter stages of July. I should say it could be these long range models are being a little bit caught out by what appears to be fairly dramatic change in the final week or so of July, which looks like it's turning significantly more unsettled, actually. So these longer range models, they might be getting a little bit caught out. By the time we go through to the next 10-day period, which is the 31st of July to the 9th of August, we find it looks more unsettled then. We've pulled the ridge out into the central Atlantic. We've got these below ridge heights up to the north, and we're doing something like that with the jet stream. So it is turning more unsettled there, according to the model, through the first 10 days of August. But actually, we know that could even be as early as the final week or so of July. And then we go through to the next 10-day period, which takes us from the 10th through to the 19th of August. Again, the ridge is through the central part of the Atlantic, and this is looking like it could be quite an unsettled August now, with the low pressure coming through and the jet stream coming through rather like that. So have we had the best of the summer? We have to ask that question. We go through to the final 10 days, which is days 31 to 40. It happens to be the final 10 days of August, the 20th through 29th of August, and the above average heights are coming back then. So actually it appears we get through to the latter stages of August, and we probably start to build the ridge back in and turn it significantly drier and warmer again. That is quite a long way off, though. It's right at the end of August. And before we get to that, it's beginning to start looking as though August could be a more unsettled month. Wouldn't necessarily be all that concerned about it at the moment. If you've got any plans, or if you're going on holiday, or got any other plans for August, wouldn't be overly concerned at the moment. But the signals are there, but we might be seeing, after a very hot, for the south anyway, first half of the summer, maybe we're shifting into something cooler and more unsettled for the final stage of summer, the second half of the summer. It would be very disappointing if we was, coinciding with the school holidays, of course, but it won't be the first time we've had what we call a front-loaded summer, where we get all of the hot weather in the early part of the summer, and then we get a dramatic deterioration in the second half of the summer. Summer of 2010 was like that. 1992 is also another famous example of a front-loaded summer. As I say, I wouldn't be overly concerned at the moment. It's only one model run. But the hints are there that August might be a slightly cooler and more changeable month compared to June and July. Of course, for the north, for Scotland, it's never really been all that good this summer. The fine weather has always been down in the south. The unsettled weather has always been up in the north. So if we was to turn generally across the whole country unsettled in August, but I suppose it would just be evening up the distribution a little bit and showing England and Wales what Scotland has had all the way along. Have to see how it develops in the more immediate time frame. Certainly we are looking at a more unsettled end to the week and weekend. Next week we probably get a couple of days of drier, warm weather early in the week, but watch out for more unsettled conditions later next week. Right, that's all for now. Don't forget to check out Friday Forecast if you haven't yet done so. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.